Hi, thanks again. This is Shagalinku, and welcome to the program. This is the Saturday's edition of the show, and like you know, Shagalinku comes your way twice a week, every Tuesdays and every Saturdays at 2 p.m. West African time. And for those of you who join us from across the globe, whatever your time is, just join and thanks. Um, this is also to say that we're streaming on three. It's just to say that we streaming on three destinations on YouTube, on Facebook, that's at Shagalenko TV, and then on my personal page, Ambassador Emmanuel Gabari. Okay, so today we're continuing where we stopped last episode on Tuesday. We're looking at depression and how it can be solved. We really didn't know it would generate a whole lot of discussions, conversations, back and forth, and all that, even after the program. And that was why we decided, okay, let's even complete the remaining part today, Saturday. And my guest is here again. So I'd like us to welcome my guest back all the way. Hi.
How you doing?
How are you
Good
doing?
afternoon.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Good
Oh, okay.
afternoon.
Okay. So how are you doing?
Very well. We are good. Everything is okay.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Tuesday I introduced you, but today I'll give you the opportunity to introduce yourself because you are now our regular guest.
Yes, so okay, so thank you very much for another opportunity. My name is Julie Mogbo. I am known as the family bond nurse. Simply, the work that I do is to bring to the conscious awareness the different connections that we have, whether it is human connections or connection between humans and their environment, and how these connections affect our health. So I do this in different ways through training programs, coaching programs, therapy sessions. I'm able to help people find their energy field, understand their energy field, and how, if these energy fields are affecting their health in a negative way, how they can manage it, how they can either promote it, enhance it, or strengthen it, geared towards one goal: functioning optimally. So if you're about to undergo a procedure or you're battling a particular illness, you can talk to me and I'll take you through on how you can have a healthy relationship with your environment. If it is a relationship, whether it is marital, whether it's parental, whether it's sibling relationship, if a particular relationship is toxic to your person, you may not know that it's affecting your health. You might be tilting towards depression. You can call on me. We'll find a way. There are some relationships that aren't working. There are some that you can leverage while you are waiting. These ones are so important. While you are waiting for that one to heal up, how can you draw strength from, how can you find, locate, and then draw strength from positive relationships? So I'm the connector. I'm the bond. I help people understand their bonds and ensure that these bonds are not affecting them negatively. That's in summary what I do.
Hey, let me give you a round of applause. I wish it was a live audience. Thank you, thank you. But before we go on to talk about the new angle we'll be looking at, for depression, I'd also like to ask how you cope with all this because it's not really easy to manage both family and work, and it's a good thing we're talking about it today also because a lot of women a lot of women give the excuse that okay, is because what taking care of the children is also 120% full-time job on its own, and then they can't
Mhm,
juggle career as well. I was somewhere
mhm.
when I heard a debate where people were also asking that is it possible for people to juggle career and work and all that, and I just shook my head because in life truly there are women who are not doing anything, there are men who are not doing anything, and yet they are also busy. You keep asking yourself, what are they busy about? So I think it's all about how one is able to plan their lives and all that. I know a grandma who all youthful age, she worked in the bank. She had all her children in the bank, and she retired almost still serving in the bank and all that. And today she's happier for it and all that. So how do you cope as a person?
Okay, so I'll begin from when I was single. So I started all of these activities when I was a single person. So anyone who came around saw a fine girl and all of that, and they felt that we could have a relationship and maybe get married. All I did, first of all, I sit at the table with you. By the time I spend 5, 10 minutes, I will know whether you be a pin in my neck. And that one, there's no need going forward at all. So I had to come first of all to the conclusion that I was after something sustainable. I was after something profitable. I was after something that would outlive me. So if I'm after that thing, I'll better get hooked up with someone who also had that as a vision. So it helped me, first of all, see the time and energy wasters and those that were just looking to have a fine girl as a wife or a nurse as a wife. So it helped me just push those people aside. Then it's kind of narrowed me to some kind of people. So I started doing this as a single person so that any guy who came around would know that, okay, this is what this girl does. Even when my husband came around, we were friends for a while, and then I told him when we eventually were getting married, I said that, do you know what, if you want to kill me, don't beat me, don't poison me, don't whatever, just tell me to stop what I'm doing and I'll die a natural death, and it will not it will not be on you. So that was just for him to understand how important this was for me. But then I had to tell him, I said, hey, I will not run this at the detriment of family. Family is top for me. So I will not run this at the detriment of my family. So having that conversation with him helped a whole lot. I had to tell him also that if you find me doing too much and family was suffering, tap me and say, hey, babes, slow down. If I
Yeah,
had
let
things
me
I needed
know.
to do, we came to that agreement that if I was going to be busy and he was going to be available, he will be available for the children. If he was going to be busy, I will be available for the children. We can't both go off without
Mm,
making adequate planning
true.
for the children. This was before we got married. Was it easy? Or did it play out the way we discussed? Oh no, it wasn't easy. It was not. Sometimes they say it's easier said than done. But we
Than
had to weather
done,
it
yeah.
through. We had to weather it through because we already have a picture of where we are going. So I had
Mm,
to come to a conclusion that, one, I'm running my own race, not anybody's race. I'm running my own race. So I wasn't taken by, when I see my friends and colleagues doing things, I just tell myself, oh, this is possible to do. This is possible to do. But I wouldn't get to that unhealthy state of saying, ah, now, wow, this lady has gone so far. Julie, what are you doing with your life? No, I wasn't doing that. There's a tendency to want to think that way. So I also had to start educating people. My family strongly stood by me. I had to create a community of friends. There was a time, I'm not parenting my children alone. I'm not parenting my children alone. I have people that when I have need, okay, where can my baby stay or who can be with them? I have where I can keep them and close my eyes. These are families that I share the same values with. These are they can do same. So can I trust, who will I trust my daughter with? Oh, take them to Julia and I will just go to sleep. So I had to build a community of like minds. We share the same values, and then they will give me healthy and honest feedback on my children. Now, I've not had cause to really go and drop them somewhere, but then I have a good relationship also with my mother-in-law or mother-in-law, like they call them. So I actually, if I have to be away, I've said if I'm going anywhere, I'll just carry my children and give my mother-in-law. I said, take care of your children. So I have very great sisters and brothers-in-law, and they would treat my children like their own. It's not that this is Julie's children, no. So it hasn't been easy, but I had to do a lot of denying. So I spent my energy from the family in the morning, then in the night I now have time for me. And then when I'm breaking down, I listen to my body a lot. When I'm taking on too much, I just tell my people, hey, I'm a ghost in this house. And my people understand when I say I'm a ghost. When children come to me and say, mommy, 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 there's that invisible signpost that anything you want, ask daddy. So they just shift. And my husband also being understanding. There are times he said, okay, come, mommy needs to rest. It's a language my children understand. They are small, they are still small. The smaller ones, they are 7, the last is 3. There are about 3 of them, 3 small ones like that. So they understand that right now they are home. They understand mommy does this work. So I have announced ahead of time, I have an interview, I'm going to be on it. So does that mean we're not going to watch, or we're not going to, I say you can reduce the volume because I can trust them to be quiet. But right now, power company have done their
As
best.
usual.
We're here, but they are somewhere around. So it's about communication, it's about understanding. They are human beings and they can cooperate. So that's how, it's not, all this what I'm saying is not easy, but an understanding of this is where we are going, and treating the children in the house as human beings that can reason as well. I mean, if our creator could say, come and let us reason together, why can't we reason with the children? So just let them understand that mommy needs some quiet, mommy needs to rest, mommy is feel. I don't go and form James Bond Superwoman before my children. I tell them, mommy's head is hurting right now. Can I go? Can I have some rest? When I'm done, I'll okay. I don't understand. So that's how we've been tagging along. And I thank you for asking that question. I usually say, and this is one of the things that somehow leads us into depression. I say that our mothers could afford to finish giving birth before they pick up their lives and start pursuing their career. But in our times, some husbands that are here listening and watching, they're going to watch this later on. Please, in these times, especially if you married your wife when she clocked 30, even if you married her at 28, she doesn't have that time, especially if you want to have like 4 children. You guys plan to have like 3 children. She doesn't have that time to be done giving birth before she picks her life up. There are some that can afford, if you've made all of the money in the world, you set up a structure, you started early, fine. But if we're people like us that had it rough growing up and we didn't go to school on time and a number of other setbacks, and we got married at 30 something, like I got married at 33, we don't have the luxury of time to wait and do all of our children, raise them till they are 7, 10, 12, 13 before we pick up our lives. If we wait, by the time we're 40 or we are 50, we'll be having 25-year-olds, 23-year-olds as our bosses, or people that would have to be competing with in a job application or project or business and all of that. Right now, I'm working with my people that I'm 15 years older than. So let's tag. I've attended a training. I have received a certificate with my baby strapped on my back. I had given birth and left my baby 3 weeks old in her cradle with my husband at home, and I dashed out to a school to go and do an activity on hand washing in October, like that was 2015. I dashed to the school to do that, dashed to my ward school for her PTA, because I knew my mom had helped me to kind of train my babies. So they sleep for like 2 hours. So I used that period, dashed off to my children's school, finished the hand washing program, dashed off to my ward school, attended her PTA, and then before the call came, I started running back at home for the next breastfeeding session. So we have to tag along with our children. We just need an understanding. Spouses, you can do this together. Your wife is a support. Your husband, if the wife is the one earning money, the husband is a support. Team up and raise your children. One person waits, watch the children while the other person works. The other person waits while the other person goes to work or does a business or whatever it is. At the end of the day, what are we pursuing? It's for us to be happy. The money is for us to spend with our children and our spouses. You don't want to pursue money, and after you've made all of the money, you don't have a family to spend the money with. So that's how we've been carrying on. And kudos to my husband, wherever he is right now. Like the man has really tried. He has really tried. So that's pretty much how we've been coping.
Yeah, thank you so much. I really needed to ask that because I've noticed that when guests share their personal life experiences, it just puts everything in place, because a lot of times people just feel it's all about the flashiness, the this and that, and they forget that we also go through our personal challenges and hurdles. It takes a whole long time. And every time I hear people say they are waiting for XYZ time to do XYZ things, and I'm like, who promised you that? You know, who even guarantee? Okay, take for instance people who would have gotten married in 2019. I remember a friend who I kept telling, "You won't marry this girl, just marry her quick." He said, "No, 2020." I said, "What is special in this 2020 that you can't do now? You have a good job. She's ready. The families are." He said, "No, 20." He's taking his time. I said, "Okay." And then boom, in March, Corona started. Nobody could go
Mm-hmm.
out and everything. I say, you see, so it's really good, and especially now that we're even looking at the pressure that comes with working and home issues, we needed to really lay that background. So, in case you just joined us now, this is the Saturday's edition of the show, and I'm having my guest here, Lady Julie, and we'll be trashing out a whole lot of things. Julie, let's take some messages. They're already here. Shatima Bolama Garuba says, very impressive. Thank you. Josiah sent this. Josiah Okpeyemi Hamza said, well done for creating this awareness. So, Julie, take this other one from Shetima a second time around.
Okay, so Gambari, this topic is very important. However, people don't want to come out to share their problem because of the society we are. People thought is only poverty that is the root cause of depression. Once you shared your problem with them, they will start saying different things to you. I'm talking from experience. Please, we need more awareness of depression. Absolutely, we agree. There's need for more awareness. It's not only poverty that brings about depression, and that is why we are talking about work and family pressures. These things also could cause depression if not well managed.
Yeah. So, where do we start from now, Julie? Should we start with the work or the family side? Where do we even begin this discussion from now?
Maybe we could start with work. And work, I don't want to restrict it to the corporate environment because people might be
Yeah,
those who don't
businesses
work
and
in a
all that.
corporate yes, those who don't work in a corporate environment might think they might feel left out. So when we talk about work, we're talking about entrepreneurs, we're talking about those that are in the corporate environments and those that are running businesses, whether you are a trader, whatever, so long as you are in the business of doing something and expecting some financial reward that you will use to cater for your family. So, what are the kinds of pressures that you might be facing when it comes to working? So, you might be confronted with, if you're in a corporate environment, you might be confronted with too much, the load of work that you have to do. You might be so good at what you do, and then you get saddled with a whole lot more. You get saddled with more because you are the man for the job. You are the woman for the job. So a head that wears the crown carries a whole lot. So you might be saddled with so much to do. You also can have a bossy boss, an aggressive boss, a uncooperative boss. You might have a sadist as a boss. It may not make your work go smoothly if you are that one does. Supporting your
I
work.
guess just
You
went up now. Okay, yeah,
okay? Can you hear
you're
me?
back.
Okay,
Yes, yes.
yes. So you don't have a cooperative team. The team just are lackadaisical about it. Each time you do a project, you seem to be the only one driving the team, motivating the team. So where there's no support, it's a problem. Then another point is where you aren't making returns, like the pandemic may have hit badly on your business in on your company and there are no returns. You're working in a school, you're wondering, how am I going to get used to this technology? I can't use technology. How will I reach out to children? We're expected to do online schooling. We're expected to the load of work. I met with someone who is a teacher. He said that the work they are doing online actually is more than what they do in physical classes. And he just wishes this pandemic would go off so that they return to the classroom, that the work is actually more. So you'll find that people are forced to leave their comfort zone where you just stand and speak to a live audience. You have to now start speaking to an invisible audience. How will they do that? So some of these pressures come with work, and then you are wondering how to cope. especially in a situation whereby the home front isn't accommodating. That period of the lockdown, this was what we're doing with people. How do you balance for those that were using their work as an escape, because the home front isn't conducive enough. The home front isn't peaceful, it's chaotic, it's noise and quarrels left, right, and center. The pandemic has forced people to live together. So how do you cope? That was a huge problem at the time. There was an increase in domestic violence. There was a lot of issues coming up in different homes. So these are some of the pressures where there's not enough money to cater for your daily needs. Am I back now?
Yes, yes, yes,
Okay,
yes.
thank you.
Please go on.
So, so where there isn't enough money to cater for your daily needs and your transportation or logistics to and fro work, it's a challenge. Where there is no understanding from those you owe responsibilities as either a breadwinner, whether male or female this time around, because breadwinning is not restricted to the male gender. Women can also win bread. So if there's no understanding from the home front, and there's demand, there's a pull from the home front, and there's a pull from the office, that person can go crazy. So there has to be a connection. I stumbled over a letter that was written to the wife of an employee by the CEO. So the CEO was thanking the wife for the husband's performance at work. People might look at it, and I got some responses of people that I had some reaction. They're like, oh, what is this? Why is it writing the letter to the wife? Is he trying to prove something? I said, no, it is absolutely okay. He chose to do that. And there's nothing, in my own opinion, wrong with it. Because if the wife gave this man trouble at home, he will not be able to function effectively in his office. He won't be able to help
That's
the
true.
company grow to the point where it grew. So we cannot,
Yeah.
for the men in the house that feel, oh, I have to work, I work, I have to bring back. If your wife isn't giving you stress and your home isn't giving you stress, you need to be appreciative of that, because you are still needed at home. You have a role to play at home. You are not an ATM machine that you just go and get the money and drop. Anybody could be a sponsor. Anybody could be a
True.
sponsor. Anyone could make money available. But you, as the father of the house, as the husband of the house, you are more than money to your family. So it's important you make out time. So if you stay on that fence of I just have to work because of pressure, you're denying the home front of your love, of your support, of your presence. You're still going to find it tough later on in future. I think there was a study that said that had it that men grow up and they are most lonely because at the early part of their children's growing time, he wasn't really available. So when the man ages, he's now looking for family. He's looking for companionship. He's looking for togetherness. But you didn't invest in it when you were much younger. So work pressure, family demands could get someone to be in a depressive mood, could get someone to be confused and sad, because you feel you're doing so much, and you would feel that your family isn't appreciative of what you're doing. I'm working so hard to bring money. Yes, family is not appreciating. Not that they don't appreciate, because they don't also understand. We got married, we need you at home. So these are some of the things that affects people, the demands from work, and there's a demand from home. I would like to say first of all that we need to understand that we are not unidimensional. We are multidimensional, especially in our functioning. You have demands from all quarters: your work or your business, your customers, your clients, your spouse if you're married, your sibling if you're not an only child, your parents if you still have them alive, you have your childhood friend, you have your best friend, your ride or die friend. These people need you. So you have a bit of you here and there. It only takes understanding for them not to have this entitlement or ownership mentality over you, because they will pull you. So if your spouse isn't pulling you, it's because they're also making sacrifices for you. understand that they need you are in everybody's lives, and everybody's life, and they will need you per time. So when you have that understanding, then you will be able to speak to those around you. You'll be able to ask for their understanding as well. At this point, I have a lot of work to do. I'm going through a lot in this regard. I may not be able to function like I used to before. Just give me some time and we'll get back on track. So these are some of the things that could cause that extreme sadness that could lead into depression, when we have pressure of money, of not meeting up with targets, of not having a cooperating cooperative team members, of having a boss that picks on your errors and does not see the good in it, see anything good in what you do. Then moving to the family side, a family that does not understand your work and what it entails, a family that makes comparisons with another person with what they know. Then if you're single, the family that puts pressure on you about whether you're not getting married or something, especially if you're a female. Not even females, men are also under pressure of getting married. So you have mothers or fathers, is this all? Are you just going to be making money? Aren't you going to start a family? You get pressure from family and society on biological clock. Biological clock is ticking. You have pressure from a fundamental belief of no, you have to carry the child in your womb. We're not embracing adoption. We're not talking about surrogacy. It's still a taboo in this climate. There are so many people who have come to terms with their reality. They have decided, okay, this is the option we're going to go for. I'm not going to encourage anyone to go for an option that negates their faith. So if you believe in God and you feel these are things that that is against your faith, I'm not going to push for you to go for it. But anything that will, in a sense, serve humanity. There are children around looking for parents they do not have. There are babies that are dumped everywhere. So if you're a successful couple or you're a successful person, can you adopt a child and take care of that child? Depending when you get married, if you do get married, not everybody at the end of the day, let's face it, not everybody will get married. So don't lose out on both sides. Not everybody will get married. Don't lose out on both sides. You cannot be all about, I want to get married, I want to get married, and you're not living other aspects of your life. You are multi-dimensional. One part is marriage. One part is just a minute fraction of our entire life. So what other areas of life should we look at? That's what I'm all about. When I talk to people about bonding, I'm not talking about just relationship. How do you bond with yourself? How do you bond with other aspects of your life? If one aspect of your life seems not to be functioning, what other areas can you invest in? Perhaps when you start operating in other areas of your life, the one that you feel is lagging behind, you would now catch up. You'll be able to pick up speed. So these are areas that I try to bring to the conscious awareness of people and get them to understand. It's your life. You're not running another person's race. It is your race. Biological clock may be ticking for some other person. It's not ticking for. Would you rather just answer Mrs. or a husband of someone to the detriment of your well-being, of your vision, of your future? There's no marriage in heaven. Everybody on your own. For those that are Christians, you're on your own. I don't know what it is in the Islamic faith, but you're not going to stand with your spouse. Everyone answer for yourself. So tell yourself you have a life to live. If marriage comes, fine. If it doesn't, fine. Then your parents should understand that, because I think that seems to be like the most pressure coming from family. If you're a single person, then if you are married, you have pressure of having children. That's another one. Then you have pressure if you are the firstborn, if you are the, how do I call it, the most comfortable one financially. Everybody is coming to you. Everybody will come to you. That's why it is good.
You won't even have time for yourself anymore.
No, you're not going to have time. Everyone is calling you. Oh, my children are yet to go to school. There's no money. This other person is calling you. My BP drugs is finished. Please, I need some, because you are the only wealthy person in your family. They will drain you. So we need to come to that point where we're able to connect with people and help as many as we can. You're not helping by dishing out peanuts, but you'll be helping if you're able to train them, to groom them to be able to earn their own living. So I hope I've been able to send some message across to people. So maybe further questions will help us as we go.
Okay. Okay, thank you so much. I'll quickly read a few more messages here. And yes, our guest is here. You can also ask her questions and she will respond. And she told us the other time she was here that she will give discounts to people who seek for her counsel. So, viewers who seek for her counsel. So, please, our viewers, take advantage of this. And even after the show, you can let us know. We'll send you her contact inbox so that you reach out to her if you need any of her services. It's not a time to shy about anything, and there's also confidentiality in a lot of things she does, and then so you are in safe hands. That's what I just like to say. Okay, Julie, let's take a few more messages that dropped in while you were talking. Alexandra Etim from Abuja said, very impressive. And then Aliyu Umar Sadiq said, hi, Julie, you are making sense. Of course, now she's always, that was why we brought her back second
Thank
time
you.
around now. We know they
Thank
carry
you.
last.
Happy.
And then this one is from Alexandra Etime, second time. She says, I love
Or,
this sister. You they bust their
thank
brains.
you.
Okay.
Thank you.
I want to
Yeah.
ask this very difficult question, and it has to do with someone once said that if you don't have although it's his opinion anyway, he said if you don't have a strong family bond, a comfortable or a good family in quotes, because what we might think is a good family might not really be in the home. Just as we tell people not to also envy others, because you really don't know what they are going through. We live in a social media world where everyone, tries to portray. So someone said, if you don't have a very good home, you can't make it in your career. But we are also seeing that a lot of career wise is not just about that you have a good home. It could be debatable. But what I'm just trying to say is, and that's why you find people in very abusive or very traumatic relationships, because they're trying to please outsiders and say, maybe if I leave, or maybe if I'm divorced, or maybe if I go out of this home, people won't respect me anymore in the workplace. Especially for the women, the burden is even more on the women, where there are introductions in the office, everyone is doing Mrs. This, Mrs. That, and then you come and say you are Miss This, or someone knows you've left. How do we begin to also know when to pull out and not impress anyone? Because you even said on Tuesday that when I think you were replying one viewer who sent in a message when she said she called off her wedding 2 weeks before, and then so much backlash and all that. So how do people, because something I've noticed is that people want to live a life to impress outsiders. Sometimes they don't take out time and say, let's do me. Let me do what makes me happy. So where do we begin to draw the line where maybe the home front is suffering? And in fairness to some of the victims, they've tried all they can try in the home front, either to be a good wife, either to be a good husband, either to be a good parent to the children, but somehow you just find issues will just be presenting themselves to rubbish the good work the person has been doing. Maybe the person is very prosperous in her work or in his working place. And that also brings me when the person said, if you're not good in your home front and you can't take care of your wife or husband or children, you may not be that. And I ask myself, we've seen religious leaders' children who are wayward. So are you saying they also didn't do well or didn't talk to them? And we've seen children of parents who never even cared about anything. So I know it's debatable, but then how do we begin to tell people to also focus? Because there was something that happened many years back, and that was why I even asked that question, that how have you been coping? Because a lady got married to a guy, and he met her as a banker, and he knew how passionate she was as a banker. Everyone around her knew she was passionate about the corporate world, and she excelled in banking. And now we felt that being married to him, he will encourage her to even be better. But it was trouble every other day. In fact, at some point, he told her, choose between the marriage and your work. And I know you get a lot of such scenarios when you do your counseling to families. And imagine her just for a while, she they said she went to the bank to resign because of how very good and valuable she was to our organization. The manager took her letter and said, "You know what? I know something is wrong, but I know you're not willing to tell me. I will keep this resignation letter. I won't present it to the office. I'll give you time. If after 3 months it's still truly what you want, then come back and let's talk about this resignation." And that went on. They said after a month plus, she was going crazy. In fact, at some point, she just packed out of the house to a place where even her husband and her children couldn't see her, until I think a religious leader had to come intervene. And then they said, "What do you really want?" She said she's going crazy, that she can't imagine herself not waking up every morning wearing her suit, attending to customers' financial needs and giving them advice. That there's nothing, even if they drop 2 billion naira, that it won't augment that scenario that her husband is telling her, choose between work and all that. She eventually had to leave the home. So, a lot of times we hear a lot of conspiracy theories here and there, but I'm happy you are in the medical field. Tell us how you take through some patients when they are in such a very, like they will call it, between the devil and the deep blue sea. Tell us how you take them through to make their decisions.
Okay, so that was a lengthy one. So first of all, I would say that whenever we come across a situation like this where one person has done a whole lot or is doing so much to please the partner or the family and they are not getting results and they still have these demands on them, that it's actually unfair to ask someone to choose between two things, because one, the person is not all about marriage and children. That person was first a human being. You're first a human being. And when when the person is living the surface of the earth, the person lives as an individual. Even if for those who have lost their lives and they lose their life as a family, they don't bury all of them in one casket. You are put in your own place. So people live as individuals. They come into the world as individuals. So that what makes you is your that it's your identity. What makes you tick is not about anything external. It is intrinsic. What gives you joy? There's some people who would just want to wake up and have the children go to school and have the husband come back and meet her at home and all that. Look for those kind of people and get married to. I don't think it's fair for you to ask one person, whether it's man or woman. You guys are dating, you're courting, you know this person's life. You have not both come to the conclusion as to what to do, what to let go, or what to hold on to. Then you get married and start telling this person, drop and choose between A or B. That is grossly unfair. I think if you find out that things aren't going the way who wants, not the way you want. If you get married and things are not going the way you want, you alone want, there's a problem. If you get married and the thing is not going in the line of what you both agreed on, it's only natural, expected that you call for a roundtable discussion. I said, I thought this was what we agreed on. This was where we said we were headed. We didn't know that. Now it seems as if this is not helping us actualize. So you revisit the strategy, you revisit the plan, see how you can modify or expand or narrow so that you get back on track towards your destination as a couple, as a family. So to just sit down on one fence and then issue an executive order at another full-grown human being, even though the person is married to you, it's the completeness of an individual that makes that interdependence work. You are first independent before interdependent on another person. So if the person is not complete, is not whole, the person can't give you the best. So I'm using person now, it could be either way, husband or wife. Now, when people come to me, I first of all want to know how complete you are as a person. If there are gaps, so many gaps in your identity, in your belief, in your purpose, you have no sense of direction, and you are all about wanting to do things for people, and you have zero or little plan for self-love, then I start with an individual. So that's why when it's difficult for us to just give a blanket solution, because people are uniquely different and they have unique situations they are confronted with. So I would first of all be interested in who you are, where you are coming from, what formed your belief system, what formed your decisions, what's backing up this order you have issued out, what's backing up this belief that you currently have, what is informing that decision, that suggestion, what is informing this position that you're currently taking, where is it coming from, where is it rooted in what is it rooted in. We want to analyze all of that, then we take you through. So there are different tools that I use when working with people. I want to check your belief system. I want to check your vision, where you're going, where if you're going alone or you are going with your partner. If you took the decision alone, you planned alone and then passed it on to your partner, there's a problem. But if you both agree, we know that very well with children. And that's why sometimes parents get it wrong. So nobody really likes being told what to do, including the children. But if you make them be a part of that decision making, you win them. I have learned. So if you tell a child, go and do this, yes, they could actually really like do it. But if they are not in the best of mood and you say, go and do this, they're like, in their small minds, why are you telling me what to do? That kind of a thing. But if you say, how about you do this and do this? I was thinking, how about you go about it this way? And you will see them thinking, I think that's a good idea. So you're leaving them you're empowering them to take a decision for themselves. You will get their cooperation more. So I would want to first of all assess where you're coming from. I want to first of all know whether you're a complete human being. And what makes you complete is not just that you have your physical features in place. What makes you complete? What makes you a complete individual is when you are in charge of your decisions, you're in charge of your choices, you are convinced on a particular belief that is healthy and not the belief that is hinged on selfish interest, because there's something called family integrity. And that family integrity is that everyone is put in the picture. You can't please everyone, but you cannot take a decision to the detriment of every other person's happiness. You cannot take a decision and care less how it affects the other person. So I would want to find out about where someone is coming from. I want to find out where your beliefs are rooted in. If your belief is rooted in that, oh, my mother stayed home, my mother didn't go to school, my mother didn't even complete her education, her husband took care of her, my father was able to cater for. It's not about the money. Like that banker said, it's not about the money, because what brings you joy, what sustains your joy, goes far beyond financial benefits or rewards. Because when the money is not there, what sustains you at the end of the day? When your partner isn't there anymore, what sustains you? Now, when I do my training or do coaching, I usually ask them, if you're thrown in a desert, what would you be doing? If you can't find anything, then you haven't really like found purpose. I'm not scared of being bored. I'm not scared of finding myself in a new environment. I could always find something. So sometimes I wonder when people say they are bored. Me, I'm looking for time to. I just sent a message to someone. I can't remember what the person sent. Okay, the person was trying to get me on a program and said that it's something that will benefit women and that I could tag that along with other things that I'm doing. I responded, I said, the time I'm looking for now is the time to rest and jollicate. If there's anyone, just like go on a vacation, a fun vacation. I said, the time I'm looking for now is a time for me to rest, is a time for me to just go on a vacation. So I'm not looking for business to do, except that business ties directly to what I'm currently doing.
YouTube page
So that is what I
and what?
usually,
Okay,
yeah, that's what I
yeah,
usually
go
would
on.
do. That's what I usually would do. I'll take them through that process of finding themselves first of all, because it is only a complete person that will think clearly and act clearly.
Yeah, from Pascal. Please.
Okay, so do you want me to read that?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so Pascal Achuine, if I got that correctly, says, nice to listen to you again today. Very balanced analysis. Thank you. We both featured on TVC Breakfast Show yesterday, and you were fantastic. Oh, Pascal. Oh, thank you. Thank you for
That was
that
why I said you
feedback.
should read it.
Oh, goodness. Thank you so much, Pascal. We should connect. Thank you.
Wow. Okay. Also look at I know you talked a little about depression in children, you know. I know we're also looking at both family and work and how amidst all these people can also stay afloat. So let's, in a few minutes, I know we'll be wrapping up maybe in another 5-10 minutes, but what's the situation like for children? Because they say when two elephants fight, the grass suffers. And when we talk about fight, surfing, it's not just maybe for divorce and all that, especially for incomes, for the family economy, you know. And I like the fact you encourage women to also work, not just because they should help out, but also to build a life for themselves. Because we found some men will be multimillionaires and then they tell their children, their wives, don't work, don't do anything. And then when something happens, maybe they invest money in something and it doesn't come out well or turn out right, you know, the economy crumbles for them. The children start going to another school that wasn't what they were before. So how do we also begin to carry children along so we don't also leave them at a point where they too can get depressed from what they see from the home front? So a child who eats 3 square meal a day just because daddy and mommy were not wise enough to save for the rainy day or plan well enough, and then they have to now shift days. They are going to schools that they are not they weren't going before. The kind of lifestyle they used to live, they can't do all that. Then they see their friends, you know, maybe they used to have car, daddy and mommy used to take them to school, now they have to take public transport. And how do we also begin to safeguard young children from this issue of depression?
All right, so I would say first of all that we need to prioritize children's well-being. It is very important that we do that. Prioritize children's well-being. Um, One of the ways that we can do that is to make our time for them and their grooming, their training, whatever it is that enables them grow. And here's an analysis. If children learn how to walk by first crawling, then they can learn in little steps how to do every other thing. Parents should learn to allow children grow. If we're so busy, we want to do everything for them. So very quickly, you want to dress them up, you want to bath them, you want to brush their teeth, you want to do. I have the rule. Sometimes, sometimes it doesn't go down well with a number of people. So I went visiting somewhere. I very quickly use this example. I was pregnant with my second baby, and I went out to visit a family. So I was lying down. Then there was one other little child in the house there. Then our family friend, I call her my auntie. So she just came to the room and said, "Is that your son seated alone in the parlor?" I think he was just 3 years old or less than 3. I said, "Yes." He wasn't even up to 3, I remember. "Is that your son sitting alone?" I said, "Yes." So she just called her niece. "Come and see your mate. He can sit alone without disturbing anybody." Then when I had a ward that came in to stay with me, every little thing she carries the baby. Every little thing she carries the baby. There are mothers that would, when their ward comes in, their ward does everything. So whenever she carries the baby out of love, who wouldn't want to carry a baby? I would tell her, "Madam, when you're going to school, you would cut your hands, drop your hands, and that will be carrying this baby while you are off to mind your business. Leave the baby in her cot. Leave the baby to this. Allow them." So let that thing called home training is more valuable than we take it, than we understand it to be. Home training means groom your children not just to be healthy physically, Groom your children to gain financial intelligence. Groom your children to understand social relationships. Groom your children to understand work ethics. I have seen HRs they are becoming parents, pseudo parents, because many people missed out on some home trainings. So home training is holistic. It's more holistic than we know, or some of us are willing to accept. When a child is leaving home, that child is prepared to be a manager. That child is prepared to be a team player. That child should be prepared to manage money, to see business opportunities, to know how to work with people. That child should be able to have an understanding of what a working environment is like and how it should be. That child should know how to manage a home because they are learning. School only adds to what they learn from home. So when you send them out an educational environment, it's a support to what is going on in the house. So if we want to keep our children away from being depressed, that is one aspect. Prioritize them and make your home training holistic. Make your home training holistic. Then secondly, learn to communicate with the children. Learn to communicate with the children. Dialogue with them. Many African parents are used to backing out orders. My friend, go there. Can't you see this? Go and sleep. Who is talking about this? Look, you don't even understand anything yet. People are children. You won't understand. Make them a part of the decision. Make them understand. Where you are confused, don't be ashamed. Let's not be afraid of showing our vulnerable side to our children. Let them see you shed those little tears. Let them see you wipe the tears. Let them see you strive. Let them see you going through. So they are learning resilience. The child comes naturally with the resilient capacity. Parents are the ones that crush it oftentimes. How do I know that children are born with resilience? When a child starts learning how to walk by crawling and the child falls down, they don't give up. They want to keep crawling. They hit their bumps on the floor. They want to get up and go again. That's the resilient nature God has given to us. But parents say, oh, no, don't go there. Oh, no, you're going to fall. Oh, no, sit down there. And we stop them. We kill that spirit of bouncing back. So let our children not think that it's all rosy. I heard of a father whose son, after graduating from the university, I think he didn't make it. Was it university or WAEC or something? He failed. And the boy came crying home. Very sad at his poor performance. When the father saw his result, the father was like, hey, thank God. The father was like excited. The boy was confused because he thought the father would be mad that he failed. The father now said, now I know you're really a human being because I couldn't understand how you could be acing your results right from when you started school. You've been doing excellently. And this boy, once he experienced failure, so when the boy failed, the father was at peace that he has seen a downside. So let's not hide our vulnerable side from the children. Let's not hide the struggles from the children, but let's not make them suffer. Let's not use those words because that's why some of us aren't really like succeeding and learning things by ourselves. When we tell children, monies don't grow on trees. There's no money anywhere and all of that. No, let them know that, yes, you can make wealth because the truth is people are making wealth. Even in an economic meltdown, in a crumbled economic situation, people are making wealth and they don't have two herds. So I cannot start, I wouldn't advise us to start telling children, oh, there's no money because there is. You just haven't seen it yet. You just haven't figured out how to make that money yet. So let them value their intelligence. Let them believe in themselves and their capabilities. Let them value and hard work. Let them understand that there's dignity in labor. There's dignity in putting your brains to work. Anyone who comes in and works with us, I usually tell the person, you have more than enough to make a good life for yourself. Don't start depending on anybody to make life for you. So if we want to protect our children, let us allow that natural, resilient spirit find expression. Let us not do everything for them. Children are going to school. You help them with their lunch time. You carry everything. You carry the child yourself. Let them carry their bag. But just ensure that it's not too heavy for their back. Let's ensure that you're giving them age-appropriate work to do at home. Because there are times that you will be down as a parent, that your little child will be the one carrying the water, doing these little things, amazing things that you never believed that they could do. We are doing them a disservice if we do everything for them. Engage them in communication. Let them be part of decision making. Let them understand with their little brains. Just give them tips that their little brains can take, because they have brains. It's just that it hasn't developed fully yet. So let's engage them. Let's ask them questions. And in order for us to do this, we need a lot of patience. So if anybody is out there and does not have patience, let your children be your teacher in that area. They are really going to help you. They really would help you become
They
patient.
need a trailer
Because they
load
would,
of patience.
yes, they would help,
They
because
will
they will take their
frustrate
time to
you.
reason. Yes, they'll take their time to reason out things. Sometimes my son, when he's explaining something, he'll say, I was thinking, sometimes he will just, okay, can we do this another day? But it's a wonderful way. It's a wonderful way to know what they are made up of, to know their strengths, their capabilities. It's just a wonderful way to discover them more. When you allow them do that, I was thinking, just patiently wait. It'll save you a whole lot of stress in the future.
Yeah. Please help us read this as we wrap up now.
Oh, this is so nice. Kayode is saying that this is a very good topic and topic discussion today. And personally, my family enjoying the program. I want to believe that he's watching with his family. Oh, that's
Yeah.
so heart melting. Thank God. We appreciate the
Wow.
feedback.
Yeah. So as we wrap up now, time really it's not always our friend. What are your last words of advice?
So
Can
I
you hear
would
me?
tell those that are watching that.
Oh, it's gone off again. Okay, we'll just wait a little while for Lady Julie to come back as she gives her last word of greeting as we wrap up the
Okay.
program. Yeah, okay. So you are back now.
Okay.
So go
So
on.
very quickly, yes, very quickly, you're running an individual race, whether as a person or as a family. Whether as a person or as a family. When you see your friends doing different things, use that as a guide, as an information that, oh, this is also possible to do. Don't use that as a yardstick, because your race is unique to you. Be your best competitor. Break your own record, like one of my friends' names acronym. Break all your own record. Don't wait to outdo the other person. Outdo yourself. Build your life as a unique person. And run your own race to the end, because every other person is running theirs. And like I would always say, if you think you lack the capacity to do that, please ask for help.
Wow. Thank you so much, Lady Julie. And thanks to everyone who joined us. Kayode Akinola Afolabi, a second time around, said he's watching all the way from Abuja. Thank you so much to everyone who joined us. Network hasn't been really friendly today, but then we managed to pull through. I wish I still have 1,001 questions I need to ask Julie. Every time we have her here, it's always sensational. So many questions on my head to really ask her, but then time says we should go. But as usual, February is around the corner. We'll bring her back to do a few things for us again on the show, because we get so many feedbacks each time we have on the show. And also to Mr. Pascal, we'll be having you sometime soon on the show. I think when we talk about health issues in February, I try and see how I can bring Pascal and Julie together. That one is what they call double combo. I know it will be mind blowing. So people keep staying tuned on this channel and keep following us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and all that, because you never can tell when we'll bring Mr. Pascal and Lady Julie on the show. I tell you, it's gonna be mind blowing. In February, we have a whole lot of guests lined up, and we know, God willing, we'll have all of them here on the show. And thanks to everyone who's watched, everyone who gives us feedback. The videos are always here even after the show. You can watch it on YouTube. It's at Shagalinku TV. You can watch it on Facebook. It's at Shagalinku TV as well. And keep dropping those comments there. The conversations are always, always ongoing. We learn every day. My name is Ambassador Emmanuel Gabarian. Thanks so much for joining us. To everyone who sent in messages and the feedbacks, we really, really appreciate you all. And yes, we'll look forward to Tuesday's episode of the show, and then we'll bring our guests on here on Tuesday for the Tuesday's edition. Once again, Julie, thank you so much, and my regards to your family, and keep up the good work you've been doing. Posterity will always, always celebrate you, and God will continually bless and guide you. So, from all of us here in Shagalinku TV, we want to say thanks for joining us and have a beautiful Saturday. Bye bye.